Welcome to another episode of Chips and Salsa. I'm Jerry,
I'm Krobe.
and today we're here with some interesting folks from VUSec who have a dirty little secret.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's have you guys introduce yourselves. Tell us,
Sure.
I said you're from VUSec, but give us a little bit about what your studies are there and areas of focus, and just then we'll go from there.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll start. So my name is Enrico. I'm a PhD student at VUSec, as you said, in Amsterdam. And currently, my research topic is oriented, let's say, on hardware security, say channel, microarchitectural attacks. And yeah, I'm looking mainly on all the, let's say, security relevant part of the lowest level possible, stuff like that.
Nice. And then
Yeah.
Pietro.
Yeah, same for me. There is not much to add. I'm also a PhD student at VUSec, almost done with my PhD. And
Lucky you.
yeah, and yeah, I've also been working mostly on microarchitectural attacks. So, for instance, this work or the Riddle attack from a couple of years ago, and a lot of work on Rohammer as well. And yeah, that's my main focus in terms of research.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. So you guys have a talk today here at Black Cat, and starts out with a dirty little secret. And do you want to give us a high level overview of what your talk is about?
Yeah, I don't know, Peter, should I do it or you want to go as you wish?
Go ahead. You're in person, so probably the
Yeah,
audio
okay.
better.
So, in a nutshell, we are going to present our attack primitive that is named branch history injection. That is a bypass technique on the current hardware defenses for Spectre variant 2. And yeah, we start with, let's say, a small background to introduce the main concept about the Spectre V2 attacks. Then we show the core concept, let's say the core idea of the attack, because I'm not going into detail, but basically the defense is working great, but it just missed a single, how can I say, threat scenario, threat model. And just by abusing that single mistake, we prove we can still leak arbitrary memory in the kernel, for example, with a full exploit. We're also going to make a live demo of the attack. Microarchitectural attacks and live demo does
Fingers
not work
crossed.
great together, but we are going to try in any case.
Exactly.
And as always, conclusion and this kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, we were looking mostly at these hardware defense that have been released for cross-privilege attacks. So that was the main focus of our work, and which was one of the main threat model that Spectre V2 was interesting for. And so yeah, we're looking at if the mitigation released by you guys and also ARM were sufficient. And as Enrico said, not quite. Not quite good enough. Good, but not quite good enough.
So we sometimes refer to that as a corner case, but
yeah, exactly. It's definitely a corner case, but in security, you just need one single door to enter, and that's it.
Let me refresh my own memory here, because I believe we had back in March, I think it was, we released
April, March,
to address the issue that you guys were talking about. So luckily for us, this is already has a mitigation, and I assume you guys tested the mitigation.
Yeah, let's say the mitigation in a certain way was quite effective because it was eradicating our attack tool entirely. So we were using this technology named eBPF to make our life easier. And the main suggested mitigation was just to disable this unprivileged eBPF, so unprivileged user can no more use this trick, let's call it like this. And yeah, regarding the other hardware defenses that they are going to release, we still cannot test it because I think there are still no processor on the market with such defenses. They are coming, I think, maybe on 13 Gen. And yeah, but the software ones definitely are going to work because we had a look at them, and yeah, is they are going really to the core of the issue. They are, just to be very quick, they are flashing the branch history during a context switch. So for sure our attack cannot work anymore because they are cutting entirely our, let's say, only way to control the branch predictor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that
Yeah,
sounds
we
like
also had like we had two POCs, right? And one was using this trick that Enrico said of controlling stuff directly from user space, and one where we're doing everything kernel space. And I think all this mitigation keep on raising the bar for exploitation, so it's still good news, right? It's they're not gonna be comprehensive, but we, like as attackers, we keep on trying to exploit it, and the moment you start removing some of these tools that we can use, like privileged BPF or whatnot, it's always harder. New challenges, I guess. It's
yeah. Well, I mean, that's what we like. You know, the constant vigilance in finding new ways to attack systems. It's the only way to really kind of raise the bar, right?
Yep.
And
yeah,
better that you know, folks like you find it than, you know, threat actors. Yeah, because, you know, I don't know about you guys, but we enjoy the collaboration.
Very much.
You know, we have, especially with you guys find a lot of cool and interesting things, keep us busy and on our toes. What is it like for you working with, you know, Intel on these kind of incident response topics?
Yeah, maybe this time I will let Pietro reply. Yeah.
all right. Yeah, I think it's been interesting. I think initially it was a bit more difficult the collaboration, but I think now like we've grown to know like the two different teams, so there is a lot more trust, and it's a lot easier to disclose stuff. I understand there's still a bit of mistrust, I guess, between internal Intel and the outside, but I think in our case now it's I don't know, I find it very easy to work with Intel. So it's no, I think it's been quite good. The experience we had in this case, we had a lot of a discussion about what we're finding, and we had like some update meeting where we're just discussing what we're looking at after already the disclosure. So it's been quite good. And I mean, often engineers are involved from Intel side to discuss this stuff. So it's they're actually a useful discussion, not just about when is the disclosure date or. So yeah, I think the experience has been quite good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
maybe to add something here, because this morning I was looking back at the conversation with Intel PCert, and something that I realized that now I think over time we are getting better at disclosing stuff. I really enjoy the fact that we released a version of our paper before being public to you, and also Intel released to us the white paper before being public, and this was actually perfect because we collided to a single name for the vulnerability. We also in the paper we wrote about the defenses that actually they are going to happen. So the paper and Intel response are synced, and this is quite important, I think, to avoid any miscommunication.
Yeah, it's a good point. Actually, that's a very good point. Because in the past there's been a lot of these where it's unclear what we think is gonna happen is very different from what you're actually gonna disclose, but we don't know it in advance. So it's yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think that's a great observation because I think personally, so I started at Intel in early 2019, and I know that folks like myself and others in the incident response teams within Intel and the security engineers, this has been our goal, is to open up, be more collaborative, more transparent. So it's good feedback for us to hear. So thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Krob, you have any questions?
Yeah, I was, VUSec has a very rich history in this research. So, you guys the whole team has found some really amazing, interesting problems. So can you maybe share, based off of that history, can you maybe share what directions you might all be taking a look at in the future? What excites you next to dig into and kind of pull apart?
I'm gonna be out very soon, so it's
nothing top secret.
Don't want to give away the next thing. Well, Well, I suppose
are
when
we
you
looking at
guys,
any of these actually at the moment? I'm not sure if we're looking at any of these new stuff. Yeah, I have no idea actually. If I'm out, this is my
You're
last
out.
month, so yeah.
Are you going to continue in academia, or
No,
are you going
industry.
to look to get a inside job?
Industry. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
moving to the inside world.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks.
I assume that you want to get a job that allows you to continue doing this kind of research.
Partially, yeah. I'm trying to find a bit more of balance with research and personal life. So at the moment,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find. But I think I don't think I'm gonna give it up. To be honest, it's still something I really enjoy, and it's really cool work. So it's always I don't know. I think they're fun puzzles, right? I think that's the way we look at it. So it's we always find a new puzzle to try to solve and crack. It's
Yeah. I leads me to another question. So when you guys do this kind of research, you find these kind of issues, you develop like a working proof of concept. Do you also look at mitigations, like how you think it should be mitigated?
Yeah, definitely. Every time we found a bug or an exploit, we, as an academic researcher, we have to come up with some defenses. But on the other hand, it's also true that we can still publish a paper if it's, the defense that we propose is not the best. Usually we propose the easiest, or maybe also the slowest defense possible. And usually we offload this to the CPU vendor or whatsoever. But for example, in our case, even better because we proposed a very simple defense. Just for example, was re-enabling red polling, but was too slow. And then you guys from Intel, they managed to find let's say a trade-off to improve with a better defense. And this is actually present in the paper, so is it's even better like this because let's say I think we didn't propose a defense, but we write down the defense that you proposed.
Nice.
and also I think proposing defense from our side is kind of difficult usually because you have more insights of what's going on, and like for us, everything we study, everything we reverse engineer, so usually a guess. So we cannot really propose very deep hardware defenses because we don't really know how the thing works in the details. So it's we usually propose mostly software defenses, and then clearly Intel is not really Intel or everybody else for that matter is not really keen on releasing these kind of defenses in software because they're usually more expensive in terms of performance. So. But yeah, we do look into it. It's clearly an interesting idea to figure out. Okay, how can you solve this? And
Yeah, I like the concept of finding instead of point fixes, ways to defend against whole classes of attack. Which is sometimes a bigger problem, sometimes not so big. But I know that back in a previous role at a software company, that's the kind of stuff that we would look at is how to defeat a whole class of attacks with one update versus
That's difficult,
the old whack-a-mole kind of approach. But yeah, so always good. Crow, do you have any more questions?
No, I just wanted to thank you, gentlemen, for your research. I think this is interesting, and like you mentioned, it's raising the bar on the whole ecosystem. You find a mitigation is produced, and they're made by people just like software and hardware. Sometimes mistakes are made, or sometimes people don't have the perspective to think through everything, every potential threat model. So we really appreciate researchers such as yourselves helping us, find these things we might have overlooked or not thought of, and try to work really towards next. Thank you, and good luck at Black Hat.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Yeah, and before we conclude, what are the key things that you hope the audience will take away from your talk today?
Actually, I would like to link to what C-Rob said because one of the main key points we want to give is that basically now these side channel attacks are becoming harder and harder. And we make a comparison to, let's say, the standard buffer overflow attack. Like 10 or 20 years ago, exploiting a buffer overflow was super easy. But nowadays, with all the mitigation, other space, the randomization, canaries, and whatsoever, you can still exploit them, but it's getting very hard. Similarly, for this new field of, say, channel microarchitectural attacks, 2 years ago was easier. Now we are starting to see a pattern of, we have to find a bug and also bypass some mitigation to reach the final goal. So, maybe still not perfect, but we are going to the right direction. So
Awesome.
That's nice.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that's great. And so good luck at your talk.
Thanks.
And we wish you luck in the future. Pietro, in your future endeavors, finding that work-life balance. And, good luck with your continued studies. We
Thanks.
hope to see some more cool stuff from you guys in the future, and collaborate some more.
That would be great.
But anyway, that's a wrap for this episode of Chips and Salsa. For myself and Crow, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Thanks, guys. Bye.